What's good, guys? Welcome back to another video where today we will be speaking about the worst players from every Premier League club. So we're gonna just pick one player, the worst player from every club. So yeah, let's start off with Man City. And this was kind of a tough one, but I chose Calvin Phillips. He hasn't played much at all. He mainly sits on the bench, I believe, and he hasn't really found his place in the team, even though he's had chances to show Pep that to show Pep what he is capable of, but unfortunately not. And Arsenal is the next club. I chose Fabio Vieira. He just doesn't play much. When he does, he doesn't have that much of a impact. And I mean, he's still kind of young, so he still could improve, but I don't know. I think every single Arsenal fan could agree with me with this decision. Fabio Vieira, I don't know, he just hasn't been too good. And then Manchester United is the next one. I think this one's pretty obvious. It is Harry Maguire. I mean, everyone would agree on this one. Just always seems to make a mistake. And I feel like sometimes he's uncomfortable on the ball and he doesn't even start anymore. He's mainly on the bench. And he doesn't really play anymore, as I said. So next we're gonna move on to Newcastle, and I chose Targett. He's only played 19 games for Newcastle, so he's had some games to show, to prove to Eddie Howe why he should be in that left back position. But he has been outperformed by Dan Burn at left back, and he doesn't play much at all, so it's not really good for him. And Liverpool, I chose Arthur for this one. He's only played, I think he only played one game for the first team, and as I said, he barely played for the club, and he played 3 times for the under-21 team. And personally, it just wasn't a good signing for Liverpool. And Brighton, I chose Lamptey. He hasn't been as good this season as past seasons. He played 20 Premier League games, and I don't know, I just didn't see the same player he was as before. Maybe because he was injured for a while. I do believe the injury did really hinder him. Next, we had Aston Villa. I chose Olsen. He's barely played this season. Emi Martinez is outperforming him. Emi Martinez is fantastic. He deserves that keeping spot. And only 8 appearances for Olsen since June of 2022. That's crazy. And then Tottenham, I chose Davinson Sanchez. He's made plenty of mistakes, and he's played 18 games this season, and he's just been awful at defending. Even Spurs fans, I believe they do want him not playing in the starting 11. Now Brentford is the next club, and personally I chose Damsgaard. I expected him to do well after that really good World Cup performance he had a few years ago, and he hasn't got a goal or assist this season, which is awful. And he's made 14 appearances, so he's had chances to prove himself to the manager, but I do believe he's still young, so he has still time as well. And then Fulham, we have Kurzawa is who I chose. He signed from PSG, and he has only made 6 appearances, and that's crazy. In one whole season or a full year, only 6 appearances. I believe he scored 2 goals, but still, it's not really too good. Next we have Crystal Palace, and I chose Lokonga. He signed from Arsenal, and I thought he would fit perfectly into the Crystal Palace team, but he's only made 9 appearances for Crystal Palace, so he hasn't really made an impact there in the midfield, and he's not been chosen as well. Chelsea, I chose Cucurella. This man does not know how to pass to his wingers. The amount of times he had Mudryk open at the left wing position and he just decided to pass back or like into the midfield, it's just crazy. It's crazy, and I thought he would fit into the team well, but he is a different player at Chelsea than he was at Brighton, and he's just been super poor overall since he came to Chelsea. And for Wolves is the next club, I chose Hwang Hee-chan. He just hasn't been good enough. In 32 games, he scored 4 goals, and he just hasn't done enough. That Wolves team needed goals, and he just did not provide those goals. And next we had West Ham, and I chose Maxwell Cornet. Sure, he has been injured, but he hasn't been good enough to get into the team. He was decent at Burnley, but at West Ham, he just is not showing any why he should be in the team or in the starting 11. So next we have Bournemouth. I chose Kiefer Moore, and just lack of goals from him. He only scored 4 goals this overall in Bournemouth, and just hasn't been good enough at all as well. Just I remember it was in the Euros with Wales, he did pretty good, but I expected him to do quite well, and kind of disappointing. So next, Forest is the next club, and Lingard has been awful in the Prem this season. He played 17 games and he failed to get a goal or even assist. That's crazy, and that's super, super poor from him. I remember him at West Ham. He was really good during lockdown, but now he barely makes the team. And Everton, I chose Neil Maupay, and I expected him to bang goals because he was doing pretty decent at Brighton, but he has played 1,115 minutes and only recorded 1 goal and assist. That's just insane. Next we have Leicester. Let's talk about Danny Ward. Personally, I think he was awful in that, conceded a lot of goals. The amount of goals he conceded was 46 this season. That's a lot. It's a lot. And next we have Leeds. I chose Junior Firpo. He came from Barca. He didn't really hit the standard for the Leeds team and just hasn't been good enough at defending. He's terrible at defending, and I don't know, just been one of the worst players at the club. And lastly, we have Southampton, and I chose Che Adams. He used to be so good a few years ago, I remember him, but he kind of fell off now and he's struggling, and he failed to keep the Saints up because I do believe they did need the goals as well. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to drop a like. Comment down below who you think are the worst players from each club in the Premier League. And don't forget to subscribe as well. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.